Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Can you hear me loud and clear? Welcome. Thank you, Jake. Background music, everything okay. I updated my OBS stuff, but looks like everything is holding up. Hearing it perfect. Thank you, thank you. What's up? A lot of stuff is up. Oh my god. The comment man. Another one. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 6 months. Awesome. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Henrik. Good to see you. We'll be live. So yeah, we got another stream today. Again, it feels almost like they are so frequent when it's once a week. Like I mentioned, we may change the schedule a little bit ahead when it comes to upcoming streams to make it interesting for everyone and not too frequent, right? Good afternoon, PPR Gaming TV. Let's get these UE5, baby. Why can you look out in mercy mode? Good question. Shouldn't be possible. Here is Unreal 5 today. Oh. Right. So yeah, let's get to it, right? I have a few things I want to show you today. Hello from Brazil, Ben Sutu. So yeah, we had a little server patch today. We've had some stuff on the servers the latest week since patch that we have been troubleshooting a little bit, and hopefully we catch the last stuff in these days server patch. So far so good. Nodes have been running normal. Obviously we need a few days to be sure we have it all fully covered, but crossing fingers until then, right? Sarb, thank you for the subscription. 20 month. Appreciate it. Giga Shadow Bear looking good today. Oh, thank you. Option to disable trust. Yeah, there's plenty of those quality of life stuff, right? That just makes sense, right? We will have them sooner or later. For sure. So yeah, server patch today, and we are working very hard on taking the full transition to Unreal 5. We want to get rid of the Unreal 4 branch as soon as we possibly can, because it's not really practical having a small team working in 2 branches, having to synchronize them, having to have different versions because Unreal 5 had changed some of the core codes. So yeah, a little messy for the team to have this transition, but as soon as it's done, finally we can have that behind us and just focus on development in Unreal 5. So that's gonna be very nice for the team. Also a little bit less stressful because it's quite complicated to have the 2 different branches. Also, since Unreal 5 have some differences in some parts, which simply needs a code transition as well. Sorry I don't hear. Will be subscription really? There will be a subscription as announced quite a long time ago when we release on Epic Game Platform. Yes, everyone have a free month before the actual subscription is required to continue. when it's done, UE6 comes out. I think we're about 6 to 8 years. And that's been the usual roadmap for Epic Games. I mean, Unreal 5 just got pretty stable. So it's quite fresh out of the oven still, right? Not many games have released yet on Unreal 5. And even so less when it comes to the MMORPG genre that we are here for, right? So we are still looking to be the first game in the world running on Unreal 5 this year, which is going to be quite exciting. And yeah, I'm not sure when the next games comes when it comes to that genre in Unreal 5. But obviously, eventually there will be more, right? Or Epic Games will come with Unreal 5 or not? Yes, that is the same patch. So, as you know, we have our PTR server set up running, which have been quite successfully helping us testing various things and also obviously finding issues for patches, right? So we're going to continue running that. Devil's Reflex, thank you very much for 18 months. Appreciate it. Are we getting a hotfix patch before Unreal 5 fix? It doesn't look like we're going to do a client patch. No, because, you know, we are very close to Unreal 5. And again, for various reasons, it slows down the entire development if we need to go back, do new updates in the old branch, which we're going to throw away the minute we go live with Unreal 5. So it doesn't make too much sense for the team to invest in something we're throwing away. We're getting boats. Come on, biscuit tin heaven oven. you know there's not going to be any boats in the release. Stop playing. All right, that's sad to hear. I hope you will try it out again whenever there's something interesting for you, right? And cosmetic shop isn't really something our core audience are interested in, and we don't also want to sell out the game to be bad if we can avoid it, right? So hopefully we will have a high quality game, one of the few out there high quality gaming experience rather than selling out on pay to win and rainbow suits, cosmetic stuff like that. I would hope that we are, I know we have a little bit older audience as well in our game compared to many other MMOs. So I hope that $14 wouldn't be too much of a problem to support the game development further and have the best possible sandbox experience you can have, period. That's the goal at least, right? I had something else, but I forgot about it currently. So yeah, we have the ever going second character slot discussion, right? And I think most of you guys know the answer on that one already. We have a Diva system that is the second character slot system, but we are not working on it right now. We haven't confirmed everything, and that's something we need to evaluate when we build the upcoming roadmap after Unreal 5 transition. Wanting to start this game, but heard news players get griefed. So this is a true sandbox MMORPG, full loot, full PvP, right? And there will be murders, there will be people that prey on others. Now we have learned a lot over the years, and we have also monitored all the data over 100,000 players past year to see what are the main issues that pushes a new player away from the game, or where we drop a player, and also various areas of the game where we simply need refining functions, polish functions, and improve the gaming experience overall. And I think we have a pretty good overview in this field, and that is one of the main focus areas that we're looking at also towards the Epic Game release. To make sure that there's a balance when it comes to where new players start, so they can have a proper chance and experience before they venture out in the dangerous world that Nave has to offer. Yes, greater commitment to subscription period will also give greater discounts. We're looking at a 1, 3, 6, maybe even a year option for those that knows they're gonna play and can commit to have a nice discount. We had to pause Thievery because we need to secure the steps we are on. We don't want to be too deluded, and we want to make sure that we don't release a system that are that sensitive to players that are, you know, half polished or something like that. So we decided to pause Thievery until we can dedicate full focus on the features we decided to push on next on upcoming roadmap. So as mentioned before, we're going to have this, we're getting closer and closer to have the community interaction when it comes to defining what the community wants first on upcoming roadmap. And when we have that voting and discussion finished, we will define the upcoming roadmap based on that result. And Thievery is one of those features. So it will help us define in what prioritized order of things we will finish those systems. Woo. Woo. Try Mr. Price, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it. The new roadmap will be presented after. First, we need to have the community interaction that I don't know if that's gonna last for a week or two. Around that time, I would assume, so everyone have proper time to understand what they're voting on, and then also obviously make that kind of vote in a secure way. What I'm drinking, Celsius peach vibe. I need a little caffeine because I was a little bit tired today. Thank you for the fun game. You're welcome. Glad you enjoy it. So yeah, like I said, maybe 1 or 2 weeks is needed to collect the data from the community. Caffeine, fuck yeah. Yeah, I never drink caffeine actually, so I think I'm in a low red zone when it comes to consuming too much caffeine. I don't even drink coffee or tea or anything that has caffeine. And yeah, like I said, after we have collected the data from the community, that's when the team and me also need some time to put them on the roadmap, right? We can't obviously have tons of big features in one go, in one roadmap. We need to create the schedule, put the puzzle together to see who is required for what, how do we teamwork to make it efficient, good, and polished, and where in time frame approximately do we place it without, you know, having a specific public date, but just in a certain order that makes sense for the team. And then the plan is to put it on the website. There are a lot of magic schools, and we're gonna present that option as well on the upcoming roadmap. So if it comes to a lot of interest in additional magic schools, I mean, we have quite a lot of magic now, so it's not that we are in a extreme need to get a lot more fast, right? I think there are several areas that will excite a lot of players out there. And again, we just widen the interests of the game, which is one of the things, right? This is a true sandbox, so there will be something for everyone over time. If you hate PvP in full loot, this game can still be for you. We just need enough content that doesn't involve full PvP in full loot, right? That's how it works in a true sandbox game. I mean, come on. I think we're past the fake beard meme or troll, right? Why would I have a fake beard that is not even perfect? Why do you think it's fake? It's not even perfect. Come on, man. There's a lot of people that have better beard than me. Um, can you pay the subs from Steam Wallet, or do you need to direct for the game? Currently, we are not supporting Steam Wallets. It's a little tricky when it comes to subscription-based models. There will be multiple payment options though. We're using a third-party provider that is world-leading in that area. So we don't handle any sensitive data. But there will be plenty of options, at least, for different countries. How much can you bench? You know, I have a frozen shoulder, so I'm not that... I'm not back in shape when it comes to power. So around, what are we looking at? 90 kilograms, 98. I don't know in pounds and that nonsense, right? What about server capacity? So we have worked on that a lot, right, over the past year, and done a very huge difference from day one. So we've been monitoring that for quite a while, and you know, we keep monitoring it, make sure that everything is just fine-tuned and stable and in place. And so far, since our biggest battle or just roaming around, we don't see any heavy load on the servers. So there's not a single capacity or delay so far since latest network have been deployed. So the load is extremely efficient. So yeah, we were happy with that. Need to save somewhere newcomers did not loot, should loot. Yeah, like I mentioned, we have the new player experience zones with higher security, and that is the sole purpose, right? We want to give new players a fair chance to get into the game before they head out into the dangerous world that I mentioned before. Please fill the world with players. That is the goal, right? That's, I guess, everyone's goal here, to make more awareness, let people find a game in a much larger scale along with Epic Game Patch. I literally watched the server starting last night. That's strange. Did you log in and look at the task manager or the monitoring tools? I'm just curious how you saw that, because I did that as well, and I didn't see any stuttering on the server. That's not really what's happening. So we need to remember that we have players across the world, which is kind of unique for this type of MMO games, and that means there's a lot of routing to our servers from multiple clients across the world. And every now and then it happens to there may be issues in routing issues from different tiers and countries, etc. And that can result in poor drops of performance from certain clients or areas to the server. And that doesn't mean that the server is dying. You know, it's obviously a big difference, as you can understand. And that's something that happens every now and then. And it's also obviously something that adds a little bit to the risk when it comes to stability, because if you are in the same country as the server, for instance, there are naturally less routing jumps, right? And that means less problematic jumps, and the more there are, obviously the higher risk. So that's something to consider as well. This is usually something that have been very stable worldwide these days because of very good, you know, cable connections and tiers across the world. But it still happens every now and then. So, you know, obviously that's also something that will hopefully be even more improved in the future. Yeah, Jake, I saw your terrible moment, or was it yesterday, when in the worst possible timing you got dropped and it wasn't the server and it wasn't your local internet but routing issues towards the server. And yeah, you know, Australia is quite a few jumps before you are on the server, so there's a little bit more risk for that to happen, right?
Oh my god,
Howdy, Archophile. But yeah, every time I see anyone have any problems, you know, when we see a large groups, you know, writing F on Discord, then we know that a node went down or something. And when I go in to confirm, then yes, a node went down, backup takes over, you get disconnected, and then you can go log in back again and play as usual. That node crash had been fixed in today's server patch. So I'm crossing my fingers that that fix holds, which means hopefully that won't happen anymore. So we're gonna monitor that. We'll probably know in a week or two, right, where we're standing. So well, Henrik, it's awesome for you to make my all-time tile favorite. You're good. Doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Footwork, thank you for the Prime. 17 month. Appreciate it. Yo, Henrik, it's me, Footwork, fellow mage, enjoyer. Please nerf that weak spot. I get hit. I need peels. I get weak spot 3 times. I die. Sicarius, thank you for the Prime. 4 month. Please fix Spiritism. So we are aware of the dagger situation, right? I commented on it before. It doesn't really follow the design. That's something I have confirmed. We haven't had too much time to look into why is there a difference, because we're also using the same system from the first game. But we are, you know, we have our idea now where it kind of went a little bit different when it comes to weak spots, and the plan is to address that. It is in a wrong state. And that also means it's even more in a wrong state when it comes to the day when we actually add poisoning, for instance, right? VTN TV, thank you for the Prime. When will you fix daggers? So, as I mentioned, right, we are very careful when it comes to now touching the balance. We want to make sure that we make the correct updates and not moving in circles and wasting developer resources and time. But we have a few safe things that we know that we identified, and we're gonna try to cover them in upcoming patch if everything goes as planned. No, poison won't work on all weapons, and it will also have an efficiency ratio depending on what type of weapon and material. So that is kind of the balance, right? You won't be able to build a heavy-ass constant damage along with heaviest deadly poison. There's a natural balance, right? So you have to kind of fine-tune it, go something in between, or go to extreme poisoning, but then just make sure you can get that needle into position, right? Monthly subscription will be $14 US approximately every month, with high discount on the time commitment and regional based. So that means we are just below World of Warcraft and EVE Online in the subscription fee. I'm not sure when it comes to the Steam option there, the Quebec. Complete rebuff? Why? Because we are cheaper than even WoW? Or what do you mean with rebuff? You want it to be higher? I think it's fair to have it so we can actually cover our costs and continue make this unique game, right? The plan is, yes, when we release an Epic Game platform on Unreal 5, that's when the free subscription timer starts for everyone, and you know, that's after that is subscription requirements. So obviously we're collecting the rubble state timer, right, that people are commenting on here right now. Obviously we would prefer to have it during PTR because that was the purpose, right? But we do understand that majority of people, you know, won't be able to commit, jump in and try our systems to give us the feedback when we, you know, need it in that time frame and manage to have that in proper place. So we did. I already suspected that obviously there's going to be things that they find when it's live rather than it's during PTR. I understand it is what it is, right? So obviously we are collecting the data, making sure that we are carefully updating those things because obviously it affects everyone severely, right? Hope you're keeping well, mate. Thank you very much, Thor the Titan. I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well as well. Will there be a new client-side NPC fights interaction be added? No, the NPC AI won't just automatically be updated along with Unreal 5 engine. We still need to do codes update that we plan to do when it comes to the AI in upcoming patches. There are several things we know that we want to work on to again just further make AI PvE encounters challenging, interesting and fun. But not initially with just moving over to Unreal 5. There will be melee fighting updates, and that is so. Again, I'm going to present in detail. These are some of the options when it comes to the combat system. I'm going to try to cover it quite in detail so everyone understands and knows, and we can discuss it. And then we're going to do the votings, right? What things do we want highest? And hopefully we will see these are the top 5 things that everyone wants now rather than later. And that's going to be defining our upcoming roadmap and roadmaps. Let me do the mocap for you. Mocap for what, Nicholas? Yeah, 10 wolves can be a nasty thing to encounter at the same time. But that shouldn't be too common. That means you have triggered quite a few different groups of hunting wolves, right? That is on you. I'm not sure about this taste. Anyone taste this one? Celsius. You have this in America. Celsius peach vibe. A little sour. It is common, Henrik. Depends on where you run, right? Because that means you have crossed 2 aggro radius with 2 big wolf packs, which can happen, yes, but shouldn't be that common. Love Celsius. Good energy drink. In America, it's Fortnite, of course. So it won't be free to play with optional sub. So sometime after the Epic Game release, we find it very suitable to actually make Haven free to play, right? So that is the plan. It's a suitable thing for a game. So, and that also obviously allows anyone to try the game and see if that's something that interests you before you make commit and actually leave Haven and goes to the real game, which is Mirland, Nave. So sooner or later we're gonna have Haven free to play. That is the plan. Literally never had 10 wolves on me at once. Yeah, like I said, it shouldn't be a common thing. If it is, you have found a very sweet spot you cross every time, which is, like I said, shouldn't be common. What I really want is veteran system, walker instance control entities animism, weapon skills. Those are all on the list. You're gonna see them. There's some really cool stuff, and I'm very interested in seeing. I mean, there are some things that I already know that's gonna be a world success if we add them, because look at that game. That is extremely popular using those mechanics. Just we don't have them yet. We plan to. I mentioned them 5 years ago, and that game already proves and shows that there's a huge interest in that. So I think a lot of people will want that. But let's see, right? Free Haven is hype. So what will we be paying for if there is a sub? Good question. And obviously this is the important thing for us, right? We want to make sure that when anyone buy and pay the sub for Mortal Online, it should obviously mean that you get something of value in return, that you enjoy. You can spend tons of hours, daily, weekly, monthly. And obviously, the goal is that you will get a unique gaming experience in return for your money that you pay for it, right? And that money goes straight to the development team, paying all the services, obviously, the staff member support. But very importantly, it goes straight back to development, which means hopefully we can expand the team further. We can get more features that you vote for. You are in control of that also. So you as a paying customers can say, I really want this feature to be in a game. I will love that. I want to play with that. And if a lot of people agrees, we're going to make it happen. So in return, you get another feature and you can play that. You get new lands, new areas, new everything. We're going to keep on expanding and adding to Mortal Online and just claim the world as the best sandbox MMORPG in all time. That is the goal, right? And that is what you are part of. And, you know, hopefully we'll enjoy that gaming experience. What if I play 2 days a week? You think it's still worth to pay sub? Obviously that is a question that only you can answer on, right? Depending on how much time anyone have when it comes to playing the games and what that costs in return. You know, it's a similar thing with Spotify, Netflix, HBO, all those services, right? If you only have some time to watch a few movies or series, you know, I don't know how majority does it. I do use a lot of those services, even though I'm not really fully active on some of them. Obviously, it could be more efficient to disable some of them, right? If they're not used at all. So obviously that is something you need to consider. Do you get something in return that is worth that investment, right? Sub is a rip-off. I don't agree, and I am very glad that the majority doesn't agree. But again, personal opinions is obviously to very own, right? We have players that have spent over thousands of hours and they think this is one of the best MMORPG game out there. And, you know, considering $15 for 2,000, 3,000 hours or 1,000 hours, that is an insanely good value, right? So it all depends. Do you enjoy the game? No. Do you play it? No. Then of course, why would you sub or why would you pay for it? Just makes sense. Complete logic, right? All right. BIOS X1, thank you for the prime. It's sub or microtransaction in most MMOs. Yeah, that, you know, there needs to be a payment model, right? Or the development can't continue. You can't even pay the servers, right? So it's just a matter of what is best for the game, and me and the team as pure gamers. I may not be the traditional CEO with suit and tie and don't know what the hell we are developing or know anything about MMO games, and just looking at the numbers, what give us the most, revenues. I'm trying to find a way where I'm quite confident that we can offer the best gaming experience. Me as a gamer want this, right? And the thing is, we're a small independent company, so we don't need a lot of players supporting us to actually very quickly be able to grow with revenues, expand the team, and make the game even better. So that's why we strongly believe and hope that this will be the best route for us. And also it's going to keep away a lot of bad players that abuse free opportunities in a very negative way, which will impact the game, which it did severely in the first game. We're quite happy to see that go away also, because that gave us a lot of headache. We obviously aim to support and have DLSS and FSR included as soon as we can, but I can't promise it will be on day one because of the nature of prioritizing order of things. Obviously, we need to make sure everything is rock stable, solid performance, and everything works, right? That's step one. The transition is very large. And then, of course, we have a list of these are some really good things that we want to add. Is there time to add them in this round, or do we need to push them in the next round? A mosquito here. Stuff like that. So sooner or later, for sure, because they are powerful software updates for those hardware. And we want to try to utilize that, yes. So I plan to remove filters to make nights lighter. Currently, if you have any media filters, night becomes daytime. So the lighting gonna be completely changed now when we step over to Unreal Engine 5. And yes, we are refining those areas where we know they're too annoying, they're too dark, and the contrast is strange. People crank up their brightness or gamma. It's better for us to make it beautiful and convenient so everyone can play and enjoy without touching that, and the game looks nice. And then where it's meant to be dark, we're gonna make it dark so you can't gamma hack, which means pitch black and you need light sources. And that will be deep down in dungeons, right? So yes, there will be a huge update on that. And we're gonna show you that soon. Henrik, give a Steam sub. We will see what we can support down the road. Subscription is superior to in-game microtransaction. I fully agree, and I'm very happy that it seems like the majority agrees, that really care about the game and want to have a commitment to the game also, right? So it's a must-have if we don't want to go play other trash, free-to-play, pay-to-win MMOs. Yeah, I tried a lot of MMOs and a lot of games in that category, and there's a reason they are free-to-play, but obviously they're never free. That's just to get people hooked initially, and then slowly catch you with the hand in your pocket, right? And if you want to be really good, you need to pay a lot more than $15-14 a month. That's just how it works. And I don't, like I said many times, I would really much prefer that we don't have to dumb down things, sell out on things to have that return instead, But the future will tell us, right? If we have enough support to run with the better payment model overall, right? Yeah, 14.25 is the exact current price set as a sub, and if you commit to 3 or 6 or 1 year, there's a quite hefty discount. So it's less than EVE Online and less than World of Warcraft. Yeah, and fixed anti-cheat. So we have had a lot of discussion on cheat and anti-cheat, right? And I want to remind it again. It's It's nothing you can say you have fixed anti-cheating, because there's no such things. And that goes for all companies in the world, not only Mortal Online. It goes for Fortnite, it goes for all shooting MMOs, shooting games online. It's a constant battle against developers and cheat software developers. And that's never gonna end. And we're not gonna stop working on it. So obviously we're gonna continue that fight, and we are doing it frequently. And we are catching players, and we are banning them frequently in good amounts of numbers. And that's also something going to slow down a little bit when you're required to have an active subscription. There's going to be a little bit more painful for the cheaters. And we are refining those systems, like I said, every month, and we are expanding on them. The more we find and learn how they do things, the more protection things we can work with and add to the game. But they're not gonna stop, right? They're gonna try doing shit like they do in all games, and we're not gonna stop. So that's it. It's not that we're trying to hide or lie. I'm just telling the facts and truth, right? All right. Anukstap, thank you for the 19 month. Appreciate it. We'll enjoy the TC patch. There are some bugs, especially with guard towers. I'm looking forward to getting fixed, but overall, it is a lot of fun. Great job, Starwatt. Thank you very much. And yes, we have looked at those towers. They are indeed quite high, and they have some struggle with line of sight to trigger when they should. And it's something we're gonna address, absolutely. But I mean, I get it, right? It's not gonna be for everyone, and you know, depending on your economic situation, also, I don't know, you know, that all plays into role as well. And if you're used to just jump into free-to-play games and you enjoy that a lot, and then slowly hit the paywall, depending on how you handle that is another question, right? But you know, that's understandable. And obviously, there may be people that says, no, I want a free-to-play game, or I won't touch it. That's understandable. But hopefully over time, they're going to see we are extremely persistent, we never give up, and we keep pushing the game forward, and we're going to end on the top. We're going to have the best unique sandbox game to offer. And maybe they feel, maybe there's something worth testing here, because it just keep pushing back and growing and, you know, having exciting content. Maybe it's time to give it a shot. And BAM! What the hell? No freaking paywall shit, just pure enjoyment. And, you know, everything that this game has to offer. All right. Mr. Kitington, thank you for the bits. You don't need to explain the sub stuff so much. Adults understand. You have bills. We like the game. We will pay you for your time. 15 for all of the hours we play is the best investment ever. Stop giving these kids and trolls so much time. Obviously, it may be frustrating for you guys that are here, that once this understand it, that hear me repeat this every now and then. But you know, I really want to reach out to everyone. There may be people that hate this and think, oh no shit, I want free to play. What the hell is this? This sounds bad. But as soon as they see a little bit, okay, there's more positive things than the negative things. And it's actually for the player's sake, right? Maybe someone can feel that I'm going to give that a shot. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe I'm going to have a better experience than a paywall or pay to win stuff. That's why I bother. I care about everyone interested in game that are serious about it and have some interest. Obviously, I care about that a lot, but maybe I'm too detailed, right? So thank you for reminding me if I'm getting too stuck, right? Table games will be on that community interaction, Dr. Dungeon TV. So you will see. You will see. Okay, I'm way behind. I'm gonna jump down and then we're gonna see we're gonna proceed here with today's topics. I have a few things Oh my god, another one. Another one, eh? Gregan76. Thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Thank you for the bits, Caramel Drizzle. I'll pay you $15 to move on to Unreal 5. Yeah, I think it's time to proceed here. Let me just scroll down a little bit more here. So I'm up to date. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm slow, guys. Sorry, I'm way behind. Okay, now I'm up to date. Let's see. Right. Where the hell my buttons here? Let's talk a little bit about Unreal 5. As I mentioned before, right? We are working in the 2 branches, and it's a little bit pain in the ass to do that, especially when you're a small team, as we are. Right, so we really want to commit. So the plan is to we're gonna open up PTR quite soon again, and we're gonna run Mortal Line 2 on Unreal Engine 5, because we want to make sure that, you know, we are covering a lot of various things now. There's, like I said, some things we need to convert, transition into from some basic stuff to a little bit more advanced stuff. But there could be things that we simply are missing, and hopefully with your help, again, you know, and that will be a testing that isn't like very specific, like sieging, for instance, but more like, or have we missed something that just acts up strangely now when we move over to Unreal Engine 5. Obviously we wanna find as much as that as possible, so the game is as polished as possible when we push it live, right? So we don't have the exact date yet, but we're gonna obviously make that announcement soon enough to allow everyone to help us with testing the transition on PTR. How soon is the question? Yes, we're getting closer, but we will have exact dates pretty soon. So that means just log in, do everything you can come up with to help us to make sure that, you know, we haven't missed something that are important, that absolutely needs to be fixed. Will it break the broker? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We learned a lot there, so hopefully we have that under control. And we also are, as we're working now in Unreal 5, discovering, going through the steps, you know, we are refining and beautifying things. The first step have been for us to obviously make sure everything runs and works, and performance should be as good as possible. And then the final step for a lot of the art is obviously to beautify it as much as possible, to really utilize nanites and lumens in a very nice way. Just enable everything doesn't do all the magic, right? We need the team to work a little bit with it, and like I said, optimize it. And our technical artists have been digging deep into the new grounds of lumens and such, and find really good ways for us to optimize the game, because we know that performance is always a key. So we actually have an older computer where we are trying to find a sweet spot performance wise, to know that, you know, this is not a high-end computer, quite opposite. I think it has one of them is at least a 1660 card, and you know, same type of generation on the CPU. So it's not a beast, right? But it's a very good way to make sure that if it runs well there, stable there, we cover a lot of players, right? We use the Steam stats, where we see the most common computers used also as a reference a little bit. But as you all know, this is it's still called the most beautiful MMORPG currently on the market, and obviously pushing it over to Unreal 5 gonna push it even further. So it obviously have some demanding on hardware, but we want to make sure that you know, it works as good as possible even if you have a little bit older. Oh, performance is a lot better, so I can see all the pretty colors. Current test on Unreal now. Soon. 1660 is an NVIDIA card. Yeah, and you have the equivalent, I don't know exactly the model for AMD cards, but as a rough reference, right? I have a few things I want to show today. I have the classic that someone loves and someone hates. Some animal armor. You know, we are approaching a finished pack and done with that. And I also managed to get a little screenshot from in Unreal Engine 5. And I put down some Chronite just to show you the power of Chronite in Unreal Engine 5 Lumens. And it looks beautiful. Beautiful! We haven't fully finalized the lightnings yet in terms of the Beautify pass. And we haven't gone through all the materials yet to make sure, yeah, this is how it should look in Lumens. But already, it looks like a freaking lovely, lovely masterpiece. Shall we start with some model? Because this is one of the things we want some feedback as well. While they are still in production, there are a little bit room for some tweaks, but if majority are happy, we just seal the deal, right? Let's start with that. Wait, let me see where I have my. So we have this little baby. This is a crab. This is the crab, eh? So this is the model, the heavy armor model for the crab. Do we approve it? Do we approve it for the artists? Are we happy? Are we happy? Crabs don't need armor. Yeah, everything gonna have armor, but obviously we need to be careful about the balance, right? All right, that is the crab. I think it gets approval. And then we have this little baby. The same armor type for the terror bird. Do you approve it? Do you approve it? Looks good. Hell yeah, nice. Great. The artist team gonna be happy. So let's approve it then, right? So one of the things why we're not pushing the armor gears in right now is because balance. Neck looks weird. Does it? What part do you mean? The chain or the protection for the neck or? So one of the things that is quite important here is the balance, right? We listen to all sides here, right? We have the melee fighters that don't want to have pets, obviously, for the obvious reason, right? And then we have the pet tamer users that loves playing with pets and spend a lot of time hours to level them up, and then they die very quickly. But they can also be very powerful and deadly in specific combinations and how you use them. And obviously that is a balance that will never be perfect because it's impossible, because people will never even agree on what perfect is. But in general is obviously if you are able to put heavy armor on them, they need to be affected and slowed down, right? So that is obviously the pro con is heavy armor, slower, but more defense, right? We're also gonna add specific traces so you can actually dodge all pets and AI later. And we're looking at some of the balance when it comes to their stamina usage. You know, it doesn't make sense that they never get tired while players get. So there are some important factors that will I hope, bring better balance overall to, you know, battle pets to make it fair and still interesting. Just want to share a little bit of that when it comes to the future work surrounding AI, right? Also, we are going to refine their special abilities that pets rely more heavily on active special ability usage rather than passive attacking. So we're going to promote actively using them and kind of nerf the passive usage of them to make sure that it's still skillful and interesting for the tamers to use them, but also obviously the natural balance, right? We are not fully there yet. So those are some components that will make AI and pets better, more fun, and make sense for everyone, right? Pets are nothing compared to daggers. Yeah, and I commented the daggers before. We know that there are, we identified what's wrong pretty much, and we're gonna obviously fix that. More armor over tail. Think so, eh? Do you want more armor on that ending note? Will you add mentalism, and if yes, when? We will, but I don't know when yet. We will present 4 or 5 schools on the upcoming discussion, and if we want a new school fairly early on the roadmap, we will also obviously pick which school that will be. But we don't have as high requirement for new magic currently, because obviously we have a lot magic now, right? That's good, don't listen. Right. I mean, I think in general that most people that care about these think the armor is nice and cool, and it fits. It's the same armor type, right, that we deploy and everything, including the horses next. So yeah, makes me happy that you like it. All right, shall we take a little look on a little preview Unreal 5 Chrome Knights Lumens picture? Hey? Hey? No look at Unreal 5. Okay, Juster, let's not do this stream then. We can do it in next perhaps. Feast weapons when? That is one of the gear options on the roadmap also. So there will be a lot to go through, and then, you know, we will see when approximately. Die system is also on that. So as you can imagine already, the list is quite large. So I guess you're gonna struggle with the selection just as much as we do. That's why we want your input, because if we can see a clear input from the community that, you know, these are the things that are majority wants, then that makes the job much easier for us to pick, right? Just in-game stuff and not a screenshot, lol. I don't have access right now on this computer for the current build, so I can't. But I have a picture, but didn't sound like we wanted to see it. Or am I wrong? Justice said no. No, I'm just kidding, right? So let me find that picture. All right. So this is, as I said, work in progress, lumens. A guy in a Crow Knight suit. So let's see if we're happy with the general look. Like I said, I want to make it clear it's still work in progress. We haven't gone through the depth of the beautify pass, right? So keep that in mind. Bam! Chicka bam! So, got the guy in Crow Knights. Can't see it. Now we can, eh? God damn! No difference. You are so blind, Thorlife. No difference. Was worst joke since 5 years. So, as you can see, we are in Tinram, right? in the crafter sections. Shiny loot bag. Shiny loot bag. Aluminum. Looks almost the same. I mean, I guess you are guessing, right? Because this is... I should have had the same picture in Unreal 4, so you can see that it's day and night difference. Reduce FPS. So what happens here? I mean, next time I'm gonna try to see if we can get some motion, because the world lit in lumens makes it very beautiful. There's so many factors here. If you can see the what's it called, the oven back there, that color and fire emits a redness tone around it up in the roof. Everything emits their natural colors and it bounces, and the light coming from the outside goes in and bounces and lights up everything, and it behaves in a much more realistic way than it does in Unreal 4, where everything is completely flat. So if you see at the corner, for instance, to the right, you see more darkness, more shadow, because the lights bounces slowly in. Unreal 4, this is completely flat and looks just unnatural, not as realistic. So yeah, this is one of our early work in progress, trying to see how the different materials react with lumens. I mean, this is Chronite, right? Which is equivalent to Mithril a little bit, which is very sparkly, bright, a little bit magical touch. And I think it's getting there, right? Some tweaks, and I think we are there. RIP FPS. I mean, that's the thing, right? So we are working very hard to make sure that we don't suffer that much. I knew it was Mithril. Yeah, that's the material reference, our Chronite. Will overall graphic be better with Unreal 5? Yes. I mean, everything looks much more natural and realistic, and that is heavily thanks to lumens. I'm gonna show you later before and after, so you can see more clearly what we're talking about when it comes to the old lighting system and the new lighting system. Because it's a huge difference when you compare them, and it just adds realism. Very nice. Yeah, like I said, work in progress. So things will change, absolutely. But I thought we could share a little bit of where we are currently without having final passes on beautify passes. Will Unreal 5 perform same or better than Unreal 4? Because for many this could be a bad update. So the general costs when having everything on high with lumens and such, there's a little bit higher background cost. But our game, there are several background areas that we haven't fully optimized, which we are doing now as well. And that gives us more overhead for lumens. So, you know, I can't say exactly the end results, but it looks promising, the work that have been done so far. The next part, which is, I think, a greater impact for the majority, is the level streaming issues we have currently in Unreal Engine 4. And that is, which you all know, when you're running around and your game completely freezes for a half second, 1 second, worst case 2-3 seconds, depending on the hardware. Because obviously when your game is frozen, you're gonna have a much worse experience, right? That will be less in Unreal Engine 5. So overall, that's gonna be a much better experience overall. And obviously the goal is to make sure that the overhead is increased, that we have more room for lumens without, you know, pulling down performance too much. And of course, we're going to add some options as well for those that have lower end hardware to make sure that it runs good. But I mean, you still have to have a reasonable gamer machines, right? Because after all, this is Unreal 5, it's next generation, it's high-tech lighting systems. Utilizing that obviously requires somewhat decent hardware that are not too many years old, right? But like I said, this is all running on a 1660 from NVIDIA card, equivalent generation of CPU, and it's pretty decent performance. There are no major issues currently. You mean node lines? No. I hope you're trolling with it, right? You mean level streamings. I had a whole stream clarifying the node lines in a level stream, what it is and how it affects the player. I'm talking about the level streamings. 4 FPS, decent performance, okay. What do you mean 24 FPS? I'll get night visions with Unreal 5. So now finally, with this new lighting system in place, we can finally get the last parts enabled for night visions and give that, right? But we first need to make sure that everything works, and we have made a beautify pass, so we're happy with lumens and how it behaves in the world. Some areas are going to require specific kind of post-processes volumes to make sure that we counter for some of the problematic scenes, indoors, outdoors, dungeons. They behave quite different, right? So that's what we work on now as well, to make sure it all looks good wherever you are in the world. And then when all that is done, we can finally move forward to that. It's the nature of the beast. After 2 generations of hardware, you will get left behind. Time to save and get better stuff if you don't want to have more recent hardware. Yeah, I mean, obviously now we have the new generations of consoles, Unreal Engine 5, and equivalent tech in other engines, which is next gen, right? Obviously it requires a little bit more on the hardware or newer hardware, right? Because they're built more in mind to support that kind of new hardware. Unreal 5 in 2023, yes or no? Yes, Demo Man, that is the plan. Yes, to this year. The Jungle Secret is not in game. It is. It is. Will Unreal 5 come with a wipe? No, no wipe. We just continue as usual. The Unreal 5 engine update will be permanent on the game, so the current one will not be used anymore. That is correct. We are stepping away from Unreal Engine 4 when we take this patch. Can I upload a picture to Discord? I guess I could. Again, I want to make sure this is a work in progress picture, right? So it's not perfect and it's not finished, right? But we're all hungry to see the current progression, right? And we're gonna get a lot more soon. I'm planning to do some kind of little blog update for Unreal Engine 5 steps progression. It's like you know, so we've been working on this big step for quite a while now, and where everything is not prepared for lumens, and then bam, when we have the switch, everything is prepared for lumens and it works, looks good. It looks like this right now, you know, it's pretty good. And the next step is the beautify pass. As soon as we are in that pass, we're gonna have endless of content to show you. So that's why we also been a little bit not that generous in showing the in-between, because it looks strange, right? But we're getting there now finally. We become a corporation with Fortnite on Epic release. What do you mean by that? Will the water be more clear vision-wise? So that's also we're going through that process. Every single biome, all water materials, including underwater, we're going through all of that because all of that behaves differently in Unreal Engine 5. So that's what, you know, if we're missing something that looks crazy or broken, hopefully you will find that during PTR and help us that, you know, this doesn't seem right, because there are such cases and we have gone through overall the majority and, you know, getting everything in place, but there could still be things that just looks wrong. Could be a underwater volume in a location that, you know, we may have missed, but we try to cover them all, right? And the goal is in this transition to make it obviously again to look as realistic as possible and enjoyable for the eyes. Up in the world, we are aiming for having the night should be lit enough to be, you don't have to gamma hack or change the brightness. It should look beautiful and nice mood, because again, we have two big bright moons, right? That should help with emitting enough lights, so that shouldn't be a pitch dark problem. But there's still room for true pitch black areas in dungeons and underground where light sources will be a requirement, right? This brightness is burning my eyes. Yeah, like I said, it's still a work in progress. And a huge challenge is if I move out from outside or inside now, because you see the light is coming from the left, and we just let Lumens do its magic, how it bounces and reflect lights in a more quite realistic way, bounces all the colors and such. It doesn't do fully justice when we don't have the motion and moving around, so you can see how it behaves, which you're going to see soon enough. Some of the challenge is to get the bleed or islands functions behave correctly and smoothly when you go out and in. And, you know, those are the things we're working on currently. Doesn't have shadow. Look under the bench. That is Lumens in its action. You don't see that kind of realistic real-time shadow in Unreal Engine 4. But like I said, it doesn't do full justice in a still shot, and you will see the progression through the Beautify pass. This is before the Beautify pass. Remember that. Work in progress before Beautify pass. But I thought it was interesting to show the progression towards there, and the end result should still be a difference, obviously. Why are you showing a picture that is not a video? I usually show pictures during my streams, right? I can't always have prepared videos or up-to-date engines that I can showcase. Again, I do this every week, and I have to spend limited time on preparing these streams. I try my best to make them interesting, but as you know, my time is well spent on the actual development, right? So I'm doing my best, and that's one of the reasons I said that we may have to make my streams like every second week or third week, so there's a little bit more time to me to gather content to prepare streams like this, you know. Demon Man with the bits. Are you guys taking advantage of Unreal 5 3 rendering, so there are no more cardboard cuts out at long range? Do you mean using them as nanites? We have been doing a lot of experimentation with nanites for quite a while now, since the first version of nanites through the latest version of nanites, and it's getting improved. It's still not perfect, and it can only be utilized on specific things to actually have proper performance and benefit from it. Lumens is also deeply integrated in how a scene is rendered using nanites and the lightning and shadows and all that. So we are going through and nanifying, naniting all the content that makes sense. In some areas we gain performance, in some areas we don't gain or lose anything, but the details can be infinitely, which is one of its power, right? How it LODs in a new way compared to the classic static meshes. Skeleton meshes can't still be nanites, and foliage is still not really very suitable to using nanites, which includes trees. So we have done a lot of tests with making a forest in fully nanites. It looks really good because, yep, there are no billboards anymore in LODs, and they also can have the shadows in a new way and the depth in a new way on distance. And we worked a lot on them, optimized them, so we actually are on the same performance with a large forest on the distance in our first work. So obviously the difference is it looks very beautiful also on distance, not a billboard, without loss of performance in this case. It can be utilized on a lot of our trees and especially rocks and such, foliage, some foliage stuff, but not everything, because some of these things require heavier optimization for it to be worth it, because obviously we want to make sure we don't lose performance by just using nanites on everything. So yeah, that's part of the current progress we're doing with our team right now. Making sure where we can fully utilize nanites, and we have a few tree types that are fully converted, looks to be, you know, running fine, and they just simply looks better currently. The thing is also, right, a lot of these static meshes can now for the first time utilize the high poly model version as a nanite model rather than a static mesh. So we remove all the LOD states and the static mesh and just have a high poly model nanite, which just load on its own, right? But obviously we don't have the time to rebuild every single static mesh we have in the world into nanites. So one step is obviously first to convert it so it have the proper render pipeline with lumens, and then over time we, you know, hopefully we will, everything we build from now on, obviously we have nanites as the standardized working method. And it's also great because we save a lot of time. When we build a very high complex mesh, you use a software like ZBrush or something to build a high poly, right? And then you have to also model a low poly model, and it requires the double amount of work. Now when we can just go straight to nanites, we just do the high poly model and bam, it's done. So it saves a lot of development time also. So that's really awesome that we are in that time of era where that's actually possible without killing performance. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, performance is a key, right? There are a lot of expensive things when just enabling lumens, and we see the core FPS go down quite a bit. But now when we have identified all those areas and optimize them as much as possible, you know, there are combinations of methods we need to use in this large open world without instances and loading scenes, to make sure again that you can just run around smoothly and have it look good. I mean, there are some obvious issues with the ice barrier. For instance, a guard shouldn't be blind to an ice barrier because the players are not, right? Why should the guard be disabled and blind to that? And how someone can infinitely hold someone, including in a city, around guards. Natural issues, right? That needs tweaking. FSR and DLSS have indeed helps a lot with performance as long as you are GPU bound, right? So that's obviously why we want to support it. But we have been, for the longest time, been quite CPU bound, which we are working on heavily when it comes to in general performance optimization. I can't say exactly when we will have DLSS and FSR. Like I said, it all depends on the implementation and the support in Unreal Engine 5 and the time we need to spend on it to make sure it works, behaves correctly, and actually utilize it so it actually makes a benefit rather than giving us problems. So as soon as we have time, we will implement those. When it's Mortal Con, we will see. We will see. Would be nice with a little Mortal Con, actually. Any plans to implement FSR 3? As I mentioned, yes, there are plans to implement both of them from NVIDIA and AMD as soon as we can without risking stability, right? Vegas. It's a suitable place for a Mortal Con, right? We have voting booth in game. We will consider how would be the most reasonable way for us to collect that feedback, vote information from the community. Can I hold that torch offhand? Not yet. Brawling needs buff. Nerf daggers. Yeah, we already covered the daggers earlier 2 times in this stream. We are fully aware of the problem with it and why it's not following the desired design on it, and it will get its tweak. Are there any plans on implementing player-made books? We had that in the first game, and it was a neat little feature actually that was quite cool, where you could write your book, publish it, and put it in the library for sale. The only thing we were missing is that you also got royalty for the sales, and that's what we want this time, whenever we have the time to implement that little feature. I can't say when though. Well, it should be on the login screen. That's maybe possible, yeah. Hello? We will get more frequent balance changes after Unreal 5 update. So when we finally have Unreal 5 and only that branch, it will be much easier and convenient for us to build a client patch. And that is the main problem right now. If we are to build a client patch right now, it's pure hell and it steals a lot of time for everyone. It's also very riskful because it's a huge thing with the 2 different branches now. And we don't want to cause crazy instability or chaos right now, right? That's why we made a very careful server-side patch today that just focused on server stability. The node issue we had, hopefully fixed, knock on woods. We're monitoring that daily. And let us see your dog again. I want that statue. Dog is better than Unreal 5. The dog is not with me right now. But she comes and visits me every now and then. And when she does, I put her in the camera. Right? About adding a cartography skill now that we have a map. So there are still quite a few interesting things we want to have along with cartography, right? But we also decided that there's a lot of benefits from expanding on a current default map for everyone, including noobs, and of course making TC interactable, exciting in a better way, right? But yeah, the question is obviously when we reach cartography skills as one of many interesting features we have on the upcoming roadmaps. Do I need to hire a publisher for my book? You have to hire a publisher in one of the cities, Zulus. So the plans for pets go there. I see whether it could be useful, right? Depends whenever we have. So obviously we have additional AI work sometime after Epic. I'm not sure when. It all depends on this puzzle we're going to try to put together. But there are obviously some good updates we want to do in AI in general, which also affects pets. And maybe that is a feature that we could do. So yeah, by the way, we got a little let me see. So we got this little thing finished, approved, in place, which we are listed on Epic Game Platform now as a coming soon game. We are, slowly getting there, preparing everything, and the people can also wishlist it there. I assume that most of you guys in here already have it on Steam, so obviously not much you can do there, but yeah, everything is nicely progressing. So we're slowly collecting some wish list as well on the Epic platform. We are also waiting on our ratings. That's why you may, when you click the link, you get this. The game doesn't have a rating yet. Warning. It looks like we're gonna have the 18-year ratings on it. Because yeah, of the obvious nature of the game, right? So yeah. No, we haven't got very far on the entities on elementalism. We are making sure that everyone first focus on the Unreal 5 transition, because again, if we work on new steps in Unreal 4 branch, it's gonna be hell and throw out most of that when we are fully on Unreal 5 branch. So it's a little bit inconvenient, but we need to be on Unreal 5 as soon as we can, so we don't have to work simultaneously on two branches, as explained a little bit before. Need to read the original trailer in Unreal 5. That will be obviously awesome, but obviously to make all those shots again, we took the opportunity to record everything during the stress test phase. So everything you see in the original trailer is, random nice shots, of the players during the stress test phase. And yeah, really cool shots. Very happy with that trailer. And obviously we want something new, similar, that kind of explains Mortal in a wide way, but obviously in Unreal 5, right? Because that's gonna look quite different. So yeah, we are working on that as well, trying to get a nice little video that is fully in Unreal 5 as well. I mean, I can see it's not a good thing, obviously, being able to move furniture quickly in mid-fight, in chaos, moving around. That's cheese, right? We don't like that. So obviously we need to look into some possible functions, like you can't move furniture if you have been hit or hit during X amount of time, or something that simply doesn't make it a bad gaming experience when fighting in houses, right? I mean, there every now and then new situation occurs and it starts growing and it becomes annoying or a problematic thing that we seem to have to attend to. It's the dynamics of a true sandbox that makes everything a challenge, right? Education mode in house option. Yeah, but so obviously we need to look at what would those rules be, right? If you are on degradation mode, you may still jump in that mode and still trap someone, right? So we need to have obviously some solid mechanic in place that just makes it not practical to abuse it, right? In a fight. So we need to think about what would be the right thing to add to that system, right? Nature of the beast that you have created, indeed. I mean, it's a huge challenge to build a game like this because players find new ways, creative ways, good ways, brilliant ways, but also sometimes bad things that wasn't expected and so on. And that's a challenge, right? But it's also, in many cases, one of the beauty of a game like this, because sometimes someone find a way to do something brilliantly and, you know, can be rewarded for that. There could also obviously be strange, annoying things that just doesn't make sense. Yeah, we talked about the daggers many times. We are fully aware, and we will address the main issue with those. Simple new skill interior design takes 100 primary. Boom. Yeah, but they can still do the same thing, right? We need a proper solution to it. Will UE5 have any network solution that Mortal will benefit from? No. The 16 years of hard work for our project have been mainly on a network side to make a large-scale sandbox MMORPG. And that is separate from Unreal Engine and their network parts. We have built that to support Unreal Engine in all of its updates. And that is why we have some unique gaming experience that no other game can offer today, because they haven't built a game that fully supports this type of mechanics, like huge open world, no loading, no instances, world record on drawing distance, on, you know, highly detailed characters in a beautiful world. There's a lot of few things that kind of is quite unreal. Literally. Literally. Back dice is... The dice system is on the list also. Is there a plan for something with the server host? No. We don't have any plans with the server host. Don't nerf the goddamn dagger, buff auto weapon instead. There's a problem with it because it doesn't follow the design. And when that happens, we need to identify why that is. And, you know, in some cases there has been bugs, and obviously we try to fix those bugs so it actually follows the design. And so everything we have in documents and sheets can be followed. This is what we have in the game. When that's not followed, or it's broken or bugs, then it's very, very difficult to be in control of the game, right? unforeseen strange things may happen on balance and stuff. So we want to make sure we have that at least under control. Let's see what you did there. Indeed, Stonefather. Yeah, giveaway. Let me start the damn thing. One moment. Whoops. What the hell did I click? I don't know. I think you are right. Let's step over to that little thing. Right, it's up and running. Explanation mark ammo 2. We will fill the lists. RVZian5, you're the best, Henrik. Thanks. Make the best MMO, actually. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We try our best in offering something that no one else offer, and that is Mortal 9. There may be unique, amazing gaming experience moments, but there could also be rough ones. We all know that, and that's part of the unique experience and feeling, because if we don't have the contrast, it's blend, right? We need a contrast. You can't be extremely happy if you can't be sad or down, right? It all needs contrast. And hell, Mortal Online gives you contrast. That's for sure, right? You can't just have fluffy flowers and everything perfect happy, because we will get bored of that, right? We need a brain stimulation. The good and the bad, the ugly and the beautiful. And in a nice, balanced manner is the goal, obviously. With obviously emphasis on fun gaming mechanics and features, right? The server problems has even been on the host. Why not change it even it's not cheap? So in general, when it comes to the gaming server host, there haven't been many major issues at all, actually. We had the latest issue we had when it comes to host was actually another server host that handled the login sections. That's have been sorted, and we're working on securing that, so we also have an additional backup on that step, so it can't happen again. So I wouldn't say that we have general many host problems on the actual game servers. Will foot soldiers get any new tools or improvements soon? Yeah, so one of the things that I think many will be happy to vote for is melee or combat special abilities / adrenaline system. We're gonna present that system on the forums so you can read up on it, and that includes combat polish improvement stuff along with new mechanics. And obviously the plan with that is to give the combat additional options and more love, because obviously we all know combat is a big part of this game in different forms, all the different combat styles, and we want to make sure that, you know, we're pushing that boundaries so it's exciting, skillful, interesting, and, you know, a lot of options for the different styles that and preferences. So I think that will be a quite popular feature that many people want to have early on upcoming roadmap. That's my guess, at least. So yeah, absolutely. Doing great, Mortal Line 2. Breaking Skulls. Hey man, awesome to see you here. And it's been very entertaining to see you stream the game lately. Welcome to Mortal Line. It's been very entertaining, actually, to see your crazy adventures in Milan. Want to get another server host? Yeah, I covered that question, right? Dagger lenses. So we decided not to allow those crazy, unrealistic combinations when building weapons, right? Putting a dagger on a lance. You know, in some cases, yeah, maybe, but we make specific controlled, balanced pieces that matches together, that make sense, looks nice, and we have good control over the balance for those parts, right? We see Jungle Plains, Malva return to Milan. Excited for Unreal 5. I think we're only gonna have the current Malva beast we have, if I'm not mistaken. So again, Mats have been heavily involved to correct a few things that didn't make sense or got sideways somewhat wrong. We try to respect the lore, flora, fauna, all of that, right? In a way where everything makes sense, ties together well, and we have a good foundation for the world we live in, right? So it is a question for him, obviously, right? If there are more types that will arrive along with different biomes or continents. Are you ever going to design any part of your game to encourage cooperation between strangers? Or is every mechanic and feature going to be designed to cause conflict and drama? Prowess. So, absolutely, right? I mean, a true sandbox game like Mortal 9, we have a very strong vision and empathy on trying to promote play interactions in all forms, including, obviously, you know, we need to work together, we can help, we can benefit together, social RP elements, all that. And of course, we will always have the natural hostile conflict drama, right? There's no way avoiding that, and it's also part of the game, right? If everyone was on the same page, same side, happy helping each other's, we wouldn't have any murdering running around or any backstabbing or any sieges or wars or anything for that matter, right? And, you know, maybe that's nice for a while, but even though you may be wanting to avoid those things, still there may be a very unique, refreshing, exciting experience where, you know, something cool and fun can happen where that is also a good thing for the game experience, right? You know, now we have enemies, you know, we have to fight back, let's gather up. And I see that happen around Fabernum quite often, right? Over a long period of time, where the citizens of Fab unite and cooperate against a gang of murderers or someone harassing on the borders of Fabernum. You know what I'm talking about, right? So obviously we try to promote positive cooperation between strangers, right? That, you know, it's not meant to be seen as a pure rust. You just go there to kill and loot. This is a world where you build up your reputation. The reputation should matter. Trading and selling, obviously, you may not want to buy from your enemy that or the murderer that are killing you, and therefore his business may go down, right? If that's something they're interested in. So of course we try to promote a lot of that, and there are many areas of the game and many features that we haven't got yet that will obviously push this much further. Give a lot of different variation on how you can socialize and RP and just chill with strangers and have a good time. We have the, you know, we have plenty of drama and conflicts already, right? Due to the nature of just building our guilds and fighting each other, right? That will always be a thing. And obviously we're going to promote that also in a more meaningful way in terms of relic wars, for instance. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that, where you don't have to commit to a full out, extreme resource and time consuming siege commitment to a base, but rather you have to proper plan how can we steal this relic from the enemies and do that successfully. You know, a battle or fight and some sieging involved in that, but not insane commitment to do that. Those will obviously promote good, interesting small scale sieges and wars between anyone that claims a relic, pretty much. So anyone that want to tap into that, just go for relics. So there's obviously a lot of good features that will give more quality, I would say, for actually engage in those types of cooperations or conflicts, right? Right, let me see your... Wait, you can fight in this game? Jaster! Always Jaster being the funny guy in here, I noticed. Always Jaster. With the best comment so far. Jaster Raylu. Raylu. No, I can't say a time frame for the night vision clade FEMPSH. Not yet. The requirement is lumens on Unreal Engine 5, which we are stepping over to quite soon. Then that's the requirement for us to actually finalize it. But depends on what do the players need first, and the upcoming roadmap will determine where this may be put. Adventure with Roger, thank you for the prime, I appreciate it. How will the melee change? There will be additional exciting features added to it, and those will be described in a post quite soon on the forum. So you will read all about it there, we will discuss it, and then we will try to gather the feedback and votes to see which of these and what order, and also if there's something that, okay, this little part in that system, we want this system, but this point is a question mark. We may want to reconsider that, or simply need to have it enough on PTR to play around with it to see before we know this is the right move. What about Creature in Sea? So one of our upcoming very large features that will take some time is the boat ship system, right? Obviously, to promote ships, there needs to be content tying to that, in terms of you should be able to use the ship to obviously go to new places, find new discoveries, be able to fish, deep dive into locations, and of course fight like a pirate, right? And that means we would like to have more water content. So it makes sense to add some of those features along with some of those big features. So if we decide that we want the ship system, right? We want it early, we want it around here, and that takes this much time because it's a quite large system. The team also going to obviously focus on everything that affects the ship system to make it as exciting as possible. My brother. I like your accent, the Jersey accent, right? Breaking skulls. Right, let's see. Let's run it another minute, and then we're gonna roll the giveaway. So if you just tune in, exclamation mark MO2, I'm rolling it in a minute, right? World size is fine, just add more to the world. Indeed, indeed. I mean, there's a reason for it that it's large, right? It helps the network offloading when players are more spread out. As soon as we hit a certain high number, people have problems visiting points of interest, dungeons, because they're heavily infested by some guilds that want to control it. Things like that. So obviously we want to add more points of interest, more dungeons, and just allow for a lot of actions everywhere on Milan, right? Hope that makes sense. And people want to build their cities eventually, right? Their houses, and obviously we need a lot of space for that. We want to spread them out. We don't want a capital city across the entire world. That wouldn't be good either. And obviously it also comes at a little cost, right, on the client. We need new weapons and gear patterns. So one of the things is also player gear, right? Do we want new gear, armor types? Do we want new weapon types? Do we want new head types and handle types on the current weapon groups? Or do we even want a new weapon groups? We can choose one of these in this category. So that's the first question, for the community to answer. New swords weapon would be really cool. Yeah, so some of the examples are dual wielding, fist weapons, and crossbows, as an example. Those are 3 new groups that, you know, could be an option. This game needs trapping. Yeah, trapping comes with, I think it's the assassin skill area. Poisoning and traps. And that's also one of those options. Thievery, rogue, assassin professions. Hey man, what about crossbows? Yep, just a second ago, as I mentioned, crossbows is one of the groups. It's implying teamwork. I mean, we got a very interesting situation back in the years Immortal 1. So at one patch we just said Sarka has been added to the game. And that meant players have to build a large ass bridge from Milan that leads over to Sarka, right? And obviously people were very excited to go here, explore the new lands and everything, which meant everyone put up a teamwork. It's like a truth between everyone, even in those in war. So, and that was, I was quite surprised to see that they could hold that truth quite well, right? Everyone went there and started to building this big bridge. And it was very few attacks. Every now and then a few raids came and killed the builders, and chaos and fights happen, but in an interesting way. But in general, it was, I thought it would take much longer because of these things, right? But it seems like people, you know, calm down and said, let's teamwork, let's build a bridge. And it happened fast and powerful. So even though I wouldn't believe it would ever happen, it happened. Is there any focus on adding new races? That is not a high prioritized order of things right now. We have a few things that touches this topic, but it requires a lot of work, and I think there are some features that the game will benefit from more first, and that may be, you know, a thing to come later. All right, let me jump down, and then I think it's time to do the giveaway, guys. We're hitting the 2-hour mark that I'm trying to stay close to, as usual. Sometimes I fail miserably. Adventure with Rogan. Henrik, I'm 47 years old and played MMO1 and explored every MMORPG. I love your game. Keep it up. Look forward to the future of Modline 2. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and you know, it's always awesome to hear, obviously, that people like this game. What we're trying to do here, it's not been an easy path or journey. It's been filled with struggles and problems to solve. It's all part of this, you know, game type, and also we have restricted resources to do this quite complex, quite crazy project, but obviously our dream to try to deliver this unique MMORPG game, right? And of course, it all makes it worth it when we have nice support from people and people enjoying the game, and, you know, want this type of game also. It's not only us, but actually, you know, a lot more out there, right? Yep, Jersey. All right. I thought I was down. Okay, now I'm down, dear. All right. Henrik, you are the best, like your game. Thank you very much, Teleport. Appreciate it. Has anyone found the jungle secret yet? I'm not sure. I haven't actually heard from anyone reaching out, which usually happens. So I'm not sure. I think it will be spread quite quickly when it's found. I'm a little surprised that I haven't been flooded at, you know, we found this. You found this. I found it. So we will give it some more time, right? We had these nifty little eavesdroppers in the first game that kind of helps us with spreading hints and stuff, right? In a lore-fitting way. Eventually we're gonna have those, right? I found, but I won't share. Etik. Was it the dead dragon? It's not a dead dragon, no. And plans for VR soon. When we are on Unreal 5, we have the possibility to add VR supports without having too much investment, which is a requirement because, you know, the nature of VR. There are a lot of gaming experience and features that will really do well with VR in Mortal Line 2. But we don't have too many of those yet, so obviously we don't want to spend months on VR, but naturally it will come to the game, and there will be really nice feature that really makes VR a perfect fit. So yeah, it will be there. The question is again, how will we plan the roadmaps ahead, which you're going to help us with? I mean, just sitting in a tavern playing games, smoking pipes, perfect with VR, right? Chill, relaxed, you don't fill around too much with your head, you don't get the motion sickness that easy, just enjoyable to see the world in 3D and the players around you, right? That's where it really shines, I think. I looked at the VR resolution with 2B a little bit, but it was quite a while ago. But yeah, you know, we will revisit in good time. And it likes to smoke pipes. You know, we all like that, especially Mortal Line, right? We need smoking pipe skills. Yeah, try melee spinning in VR, exactly. You know, in a high-paced fight, you get the strain eventually, right? In VR. So, you know, maybe the young generation handles it quite well, but I do get tired after like almost an hour, I think is my limit when it's a high-paced, moving around, looking around. It exhausts me quite a lot and get a little tiny bit motion sickness eventually. But then again, there are a lot of programs and games where you just, you know, are more stationary, is relaxed, chill. Then you can go much, much longer, right? And I think there will be plenty of those features and areas in Mortal Line over time where it just is a perfect fit, where you can enjoy your expensive VR hardware, right? And just bring it to a whole new level of RP elements and table gaming experience. Want to add Nahuat to my augment crack pipe? Indeed, we will get it. We will get it. Are there any plans for party system? We had that debate a little bit over the years, every now and then, but it usually comes down to the majority things. Well, we don't really need it, right? It's part of the how we group up. There's a few things that we absolutely need that helps with group identifying, which we all know and agree to, which obviously is die system, guild logo, emblems, tabard stuff, and banners, right? That will obviously help you to design your side in a unique way. The enemies will decide their own way, and that will obviously be a very strong feature to help identifying the chaos in a battle. Every new player wonders, who the hell do you know who you're fighting with? After a while, when you are becoming a mortal pro, it's not a huge issue, but we all agree that obviously we need it sooner or later. So again, I'm not sure if we really, from all the players that gets into it, they never really, you know, said that we really need a grouping system. We never got to that point, right? So I don't know if you're new to the game or a veteran, but like I said, it kind of died down on itself, where we don't really see a huge requirement or benefit. But yeah, you know, it may change. I don't know. Party system indeed due to PvP flagging system. Like I just said, Dodge 2. When we get the banner logo systems where you have these tabard and stuff, you can dye your colors. You will see very distinctly your guild members from others, and I think that is important, right? I'm not sure if we're gonna go the road where you fully paint your own banners and submit them. We have discussed it a little bit. We haven't 100% decided yet, but we thought the route was a little bit more safer and practical if we create a robust guild logo design system within the game, and you use those tools to build something uniquely and good looking, and it fits the game, and it's, you know, instantly improved when you have built your own design, right? When you design and submit, obviously it needs to go through a specific phase where we first of all approve it, because there could be crazy things, right? And secondly, it needs to go into a patch, and that obviously going to take manpower, and it's something that we are lacking a little bit right now, right? We are still a small team, so it's leaning towards at least a more automated, robust system. And obviously we want to make it awesome, so you can really be creative and create your own unique, awesome design that fits your style and logo that you may already have, you know, on your website or forums or wherever, right? Remember the free drawing books in Mortal 1? Yeah, I mean, it was really cool, right? You could actually paint. You could paint with your mouse anything and share that beautiful painting to other players, or even place it in the world and someone found it. It was awesome, and it was fun. But yeah, you will see a lot of stuff like that, you know, yeah, a little bit fun, but okay, enough is enough, you know what I mean? But I still like that system. You know, some real good talents that using you know, pen, table, painting something serious, cool, you know, and had that as awesome painting. So I still like that system, and we'll most likely get it back later. It's time for the giveaway, guys, before I get stuck again in too many awesome directions. Exclamation mark M2 if you just tune in. You have the last seconds before we roll it. We are most likely looking to offer a race change option in the future, but it will be restricted. It will be very specific, because we absolutely need to make sure that you can't just erase your reputation and history from the game and bypassing what's a big important feature, which is reputation matters. Your name and what you do in the world, you know, makes a difference, or can be noted. And you could either become the most famous book writer, or whatever that may be, trader, or famous bastard that people want to hunt and put bounties on the head. And obviously if you can change name and race and looks like something else the next day, you're bypassing that, right? So that's a requirement, that you shouldn't be able to bypass your reputation, right? If you made a character, this will be your character in the world, and you'll be known for your actions. Good or bad. The banana aura, we will have it covered in upcoming patch or patches. I can't say exactly when, but we have identified the main issue with it. It's interesting how it takes many months before a new meta or new style becomes, you know, the shit, you know, or, you know, oh my god, this is out of control now, and it's been like that for 2 years. It's a challenge, and, you know, something that will always happen in these games as well, and we just have to you know, be patient. All right, giveaway time. Almost got sidetracked here again. All right, let me roll it, guys. One moment. Where do we have it? We have it here. All right. Good luck, everyone, and here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Who will it be today? Do you think it's gonna be a rigged one? God damn, mosquito. It's gonna be rigged or fair today? Rigged, eh? Jasta with the meme. Jasta. Jasta. Always Jasta. Congratulations, Golden Gene TV. You won yourself a MO copy. Alright, let's see. Is he here? Very fair. Very fair. Rigged. Alright, I guess it was a rigged one today. Golden Gin. Let's see if he's here. Golden Gin, are you here? Fair and rigged. Nah, this one was fair. Yes, I'm here. Goon, man, goon. Let's give him a couple of minutes as usual. Yeah, he's writing in the public one right now. Golden Gin, do me a favor and respond on our DM here, and we can take care of business. Let me find that. Oh my god. Zombie. 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 Thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Golden Gin. Send me a little DM here on Twitch TV. So I can confirm and give you the code. You know? No? Golden Gin TV, do me a favor and respond or send me a DM here on Twitch TV, and I will be able to give you the code. There we go, there we go. So that's the Steam code. Congratulations once again. Golden Gin TV, are you a new Mortal player or a Mode 2 veteran or even a MO1 veteran? Always curious. How do we even do DMs? There should be a send message option on my name or on Immortal something. Just got here. Has there been any cool showings? We had a nice little discussion all over everything from the next PTR. Some Unreal 5. We got listed on Epic Game Platform. Now people can wishlist. Showed a work in progress screenshot from in Unreal 5 with the Crow Knights. Some of the work going on there. So a little bit of everything, I would say. Some armor, gear also. That it looks like we got the seal of approval from the community, which is awesome. We will announce a date for Unreal 5 PTR as soon as we have that date nailed down. But we're getting closer, so we're gonna get it out there. Are you newbie, Golden Gin TV? Been waiting to try the game for a long time. Thank you very much. Awesome, awesome. So new to the game. Every now and then we have some lucky winners that never played the game or are just following and interested of trying it out. And obviously this was a good opportunity for you to win a code, I guess. So yeah, hope you enjoy and take your time on Haven so you don't rush away from Haven, because you're quite calmly protected there. In good time, you're gonna run into the rough world of different players also in real world. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Atik. So how will sailing be better than Valheim? I want to know. I'm not too familiar with the Valheim sailing, so I can't say for sure, right? But, you know, we have our own system that we are aiming for, which means it's going to be a quite robust, based on some realism, obviously, where wind is a factor and where you have to get the wind effectively on the sails to obviously sail fast and effectively, and that's based on real world rules somewhat. Obviously there's always some room for some not 100% realism, because, you know, if there's no wind, it's not very fun if you can't sail anymore, right? So but things that make sense and follow logic, and if you are a good sailor in real life, you can apply that knowledge in game, which is always a factor we aim for when it comes to multi-line, which is really cool, because there are a lot of experts in various fields that can actually utilize their knowledge in this game and think, holy shit, not many games do that, and I love it. Just look at refining and crafting, for instance. There's some stuff there, right? So it's going to be an interesting sailing system, and of course how to construct and build a ship is going to be very exciting. We're trying to use something that are obviously suitable in terms of complexity when it comes to MMORPG game, but still allow you to build something that feels quite unique to your ship, right? There should be nice options to design those ships, from small to large ships, where it can be like a one-man squad up to a full crew to efficiently use the ship. And of course, we're going to have siege weapons to use on these ships as well. Valheim had a damn good shipbuilding and sailing system. Yeah, I mean, Valheim was a very solid game, right? It got really popular in a time era where we also were, I think it was around our stress test or something, and a lot of people saw Mortal 9 when I was also playing Valheim and thought, well, there are some really nice similarities. I feel straight at home in both games, which is an awesome synergy between our games, I think. Yeah, an awesome game, Valheim. Henrik, map feels very empty. Are we going to get more PvE dungeons and point of interest in the game near future? We get a lot of various feedback. We have added a lot of dynamic spawners to the point that some people even thought it was too challenging. We're trying to refine that, obviously, to make sure that close to new cities where new players wander out, the first thing the experience shouldn't be running straight into a veteran outlaw gang that gangs them, right? We have the outcasts that should be more common to run into there, and then the further out, outlaws and eventually veterans, right? To get that decent balance. I need more outlaws. But like I said, the goal is to make sure that no matter where you travel in the world, you will always run into something high risk reward, from easy to difficult. So you have to learn and adapt that shit. This is gonna be a gank. You know, this big group of outlaws is gonna gank me. I need to flee this time, and or bring my friend to beat them. Or I know my skill level that, okay, I can take this. I can take this group on my own. That should be a thing, right? So obviously we're gonna add on that, expand on that, along with Epic Game Patch as well. We did a huge amount of dynamic patches, dynamic spawners with the TC, as you may have noticed when traveling the world, where you never run into stuff before, you run into them sooner or later now, anywhere in the world. Yeah, the bowmen are a bit crazy. We have done some tweaks on them in the upcoming patch as well, refining them a little bit balance-wise. Let me go on to the ending note here so people don't think we are on giveaways anymore, because we have done the giveaway for today. But yeah, obviously also, that's one of the things on the upcoming roadmap. If people want us to focus heavily on dungeons, obviously we have a whole art team, and then we have coders, different developers, right? That since we already have mechanic to obviously, build a dungeon without having to code things, we can always dedicate some artists to build new, exciting, cool dungeons, because yes, we need more of them, and we need to add more spread out on Mirland. So that's something that's going to happen. The question is when and where we spend the artist team, right? So there's a few things, right? We have features and we have arts components, and quite often, obviously, they tie together depending on the feature we choose, right? But there are, and this is the challenging puzzle to put together. How do we create the upcoming focus and roadmap? Here's the team members, and everyone obviously needs to have something to work with. So there may be opportunities where we are working on a specific feature, and at the same time, almost all artists can focus on a badass new dungeon, and new content to support that, while coders are finishing a feature or so. So, and we don't know exactly how that roadmap looks until we've had community interaction, and with your help to define what we want first. Is containers everywhere in the wild like MO1? I mean, we have a lot of containers, don't we? I mean, not randomly everywhere, but there's quite a few, I would say. But yeah, we will add more, like I said, absolutely. Yeah, we are updating the criminal murder flagging system a little bit along with the work with the Epic Game deploying. There's some important updates there that, we kind of conclude that, okay, this should be a better step forward now when we tried both sides from Mortal 1 and Mortal 2, even though the community wanted more what we have now when we were in Mortal 1, and then now it looks like we almost going back in a few things, or refining a few things that is a mix between them two, that may be the sweet spot, hopefully, that makes the majority happier. Isn't enough containers? Yeah. We will add more, absolutely. And like I said, more points of interest, more dungeons also, along with various random stuff to explore. The key is obviously, right, that if you go in any direction, sooner or later you're going to run into something interesting, challenging, or hard, easy, anything, right? So it makes it interesting to explore the world, and obviously every now and then there are going to be new things that you may run into first of everyone. When you house model, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's even on the votable list currently, if that's something we need right now. I mean, obviously over time, it's nice to have more variation, clade-inspired structures, right? So you can put your more personal styles eventually. But there's always a prioritized order, a natural order of things where we know we're all gonna enjoy these features and this content. Character progression, for instance, refine better, deeper, interesting, never-ending character progression steps. That's something I think everyone would benefit from, because it's great, it's fun. You feel that you always improve something or move forward and can refine your character further. That's something I think most will appreciate. So there will be some natural choices, I think, that will stand out first, at least. And then eventually we will get to those things also. Ships would be able to be stashed like horses, sort of like a dock, where it would be safe when you're offline. Yeah, I mean, we haven't 100% confirmed these rules, right? It's something we still need to consider and go through in depth. But we also need to think practically what's good for performance, both client side, player experience, and server, right? If it comes down to every single player eventually have a ship and they are always there in the world like a horse, but permanently, then obviously we're gonna see the coastlines everywhere extremely filled, and that's gonna come at the cost. So I don't think it's very practical, right? So it makes sense there will be a dock harbor where you can kind of, you know, store it a little bit magically, but I think that's the most practical way, you know, to not bombard things that comes at a experience cost, right? Server side and client side. So I think it's most likely gonna be a dockable feature, right? Like, you know, park your car in the garage kind of thing, right? I can't say sorry yet when we'll have the permanent ritual table. I know obviously that's something we would like to finally cover. There's been one problem out of another one when it comes to that one. And it's simply not suitable to spend our developer time on that right now due to the Unreal 5 transition, also because some of that will be affected in the new engine. So a lot of those things that are halfway there or in a state where we need to solve this part first, that goes a little bit out the window if we need to do that in Unreal 4 and then redo it in a new way in Unreal 5. So yeah, a little bit inconvenient that some of those things are still lingering a little bit in the air, unfortunately. Weather effect like lightning and thunder. So we have lightning and thunder, but I rarely see it. Have anyone seen the lightning strike and the thunder sound since we did a weather update? Or what's going on? Yeah, what happened to lightning? We have lightning and thunder. No, nope. Yeah, I'm not sure I have. Okay, so the question is then, did it become very rare? Or what the hell is going on? Because I also remember that it felt it was a little bit more common, and I really love this nice deep thundering sound in the distance. And then every now and then you could see the striking go down, and even got hit by it, right? But I haven't seen it myself, either in streams or when I'm running around myself, which happened a little bit more frequent pre-weather update. I've seen lightning in the sky far away. Never seen lightning and very rarely thunder. But have you heard the thunder that I'm talking about? You know, that deep, really nice thunder sound that is recorded in real life. I've not seen it either. Seems like it's either become extremely rare. I'm not sure if anyone can confirm that you have seen and heard it. No, only on YouTube. So the question is if it's not ever happening or if it's just extremely rare. Can't say yet, but it looks like it's absolutely become either extremely rare or not happening anymore. Mandela effect. never thought was thunder. Be nice if it were more common. I agree, because it was a nice moody feeling and sound. I liked it. And imagine this spectacular scene when you have the enemy lines, the rain, and the bam, a little thunder in the background. Could really set the mood. Haven't heard any thunder, asking Guild, and they say no as well. It's a fact that at least it's either too extremely rare, or it just stopped working along with the weather update. But I agree, I miss it as well, and I've noticed that something may be off or missing. I haven't seen lightning in a while, but I heard thunder last night. Okay, so you heard it. Okay. So maybe just a case of it's way too rare. I guess, yeah, eventually whenever we have time over for the coder that built that system can take a little look if it makes sense that it became more rare, or if there could be anything else that affected. But yeah, absolutely, we should bring it back, right? It was a nice mood setting thing for the game. So I guess we will cover it eventually in Unreal Engine 5. All right, guys, I think this is my cue. I'm running a little overdue with today's stream. Let's do our classical poll for a little raid, I think. Or do we have anyone that I haven't raided, perhaps? Let's take a look. Who do we have? Let's take a little look first. I think it makes sense to give a little bloodline reset on Haven to more efficiently change and play around with your character without completely remaking your character. I think that makes sense. It could be part of the free-to-play Haven experience, right? Maybe suitable in that chunk. But I think so, yeah. Baseback TV, thank you very much for the 25-month. Crazy, man. Damn, I missed the whole stream. Ah, man, got a little late today indeed. But we will always try to do the recaps. You can rewatch, scroll through it if there was something. There were some nice bits, I think, that could be of interest. So everybody already covered this, Henrik. I just got on. What is with the GMs deleting strongholds right before players' eyes, just as they go to lootable buy on one stage? I heard there was something about that in our work environment tools, but I didn't read the details. I just kind of glanced it in the background. But obviously, there's nothing in terms of a GM doing favors or corrupt things, because all that is heavily monitored. And like we said before, GMs are not players. They don't take part or sides. But I think there was a mistake there. There's a tool that was same in the PTR when we do some states updates. I think there was a mistake or something that makes that not very good. But again, the GMs have to clarify exactly what happened there. The important thing is that obviously we don't have GMs doing personal favors for anyone. That would be ridiculous, and that would be ending the project, right? So I want to make that clear. And we were concerned if that, looks to be, a case, because that would never be acceptable. So yeah, the GMs should be on that one. I know there's a task within team that something like that happened, but I have to read up on it. Wanna be Dan Bazirian? Come on, Valcor. What the hell is that? Do I even look like him? Come on, man. Come on. I have a beard. Is that it? Is that it? Do GM allowed to play with normal characters? No, they are not allowed to be players. They don't know anyone in the game. They don't participate in anything. They are external hired GMs that just need to follow protocol and do the work, and they're hired and get paid to do that. And we're expanding on their system and the entire customer relation systems, along with the new backend system we're going to slowly deploy. Also allow you to give the feedback on your customer staff experience, so we can always try to be on point, improve whatever we can to make you satisfied, right? Dan Bilzerian wished he was Henrik. All right, guys, let's take a look again here. Who do we have streaming today? Shall we do we have anyone new that we should raid, or do we do a poll? I've never raided Breaking Skulls, right? He's a new streamer, a new player. I saw him streaming lately. Awesome guy. From Jersey, Jersey. Shall we do that? Because I think I have raided most of the streamers today, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. I know I haven't raided Breaking Skulls, at least. Hey, Breaking Skulls. He was a OG Tarkov guy. Alright. Okay, let's raid Breaking Skulls today. I never raided him before. I tried to pass along it, you know. Anyone new showing up that are, you know, wanna commit to the game and stream the game, it's always good awareness for all of us enjoying Mortal Line. So we try to do our part in promoting and supporting back our players and streamers. Let's do that then. All right. I guess this is it then for today's stream. I wanna thank you all, as usual, for participating in our discussions, questions, and feedback on our thing we are showing here. Thank you for the stream, Henrik. I think you should consider every other week for the streams. Have a good rest of your week. Yeah, we're gonna decide on that and make a little post. I think that's also a good transition to make it feel, you know, exciting for each stream, and hopefully I have a little bit more time to also to present something that is worth joining in for, right? All right, let's do the raid, guys. Thank you very much for participating and all of your donations, subscriptions, and questions. We very much appreciate your support, guys. We couldn't have done it without you guys, you know. Let's see. What the hell am I writing? All right. Let's raid Breaking Skulls. He's a new player, and it was very entertaining to watch him stream the past 2 days. So let's give him some support, follow him, all the usual stuff, and you know, give him your best tips and information, because that's how we all become long-term pro Mortal players, right? He needs some support getting into the game, but it looks like he's having a blast, and it's been a blast watching him play and learn as well. So yeah. All right, thank you everyone, and have an awesome evening, and I will see you soon again. And let's do this then. All right, here we go. Let's show him some support, guys. Welcome to Mortal Line. Have a good one, and bye bye.